Cage Warriors 208 this Saturday in London. Looking forward to the card, some good fights, especially the main event, and there's some other great fights on there as well. Coming off a double header last weekend in Manchester, it didn't go our way. We had some big upsets, like Alexander O'Sullivan getting finished by Loof, and Vitrilla KOing Shea Ingram as well. We did say that was a possibility, but yeah, still didn't expect it to go that way. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit better luck this weekend. So let's scroll down to the first fight and we'll get into it. So we've got Louis Bracusi versus Taylor Rose. Taylor Rose, I think he's only 18 and 19, making his pro debut on Cage Warriors. He's fought some good guys at amateur, some tough opposition, and he's coming up against Bracusi, who's 1-0 as a pro, and he's had a lot of amateur experience as well, and some good wins. But he's a bit older than Rose, and he doesn't look anything special, to be fair, Bracusi. And Taylor Rose is like a 3-1 underdog. I mean, I do imagine Bracusi might get the man strength going and kind of like big brother Taylor Rose, but I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor Rose won. Yeah, he's had a mixed record at amateur, but he's fought some tough opposition, like I say, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did manage to win this fight. I'm probably not going to put it on my accumulator, but potentially I might put it on a side bet because it's 3-1. I don't think Bracusi should ever be that big a favourite, to be fair. He just doesn't look good enough to justify that level of favouritism, in my opinion. And Rose is going to be making leaps and bounds every fight. He's only 18, 19. Like, you're going to be getting better all the time at that age. So, yeah, I think Bracusi should win, but I would not be surprised if Taylor Rose won that fight. Next fight, we've got Bain Dundavan versus Damien McKenna. Now, I didn't look into this fight too much. 4-1 is McKenna, and he's coming up against Bain Dundavan. I looked at the records. Dundavan, he's just beat a load of nuggets, really. No, he's not beat anyone who's any good, that what I saw, and anyone who's beat anyone he's fought who's half decent has beat him. He's coming up against McKenna, who looks like a better prospect, to be fair. He's got one loss against Keith Keogh, but Keith Keogh looks really good, so there's no shame in that loss. And yeah, he's had some wins over some nuggets as well by the look of it, but I still think he should get the win here against Bain Dundavan. Probably another, I don't know if I'll bet on it, we'll have a look at the odds. Next fight, you've got Giovanni Fernandez versus Paddy Routledge. I'm not seeing anything in Paddy Routledge, but looking at his record, he's fought some good guys, and he's beat some good guys and lost to some good guys as well. So it looks like a decent fighter. Giovanni Fernandez is someone who I've seen quite a bit of because he's had his last however many on Cage Warriors, well, before his last fight actually. And he's tough, he's got heart, but he always looks outmatched in the... He did pull off this submission win over Jimmy Quinn, but that was a comeback win. He was getting beat up before that, and Jimmy Quinn kind of quit a little bit by it seems of it. Just gassed out, shot his load. And I just don't think Giovanni Fernandez is good enough, really. And I imagine Paddy Routledge should get the win. I'm not sure of the odds on that one. We'll have a look. Next fight, you got Stephen Costello versus Andrea Cabali. Costello, he looks good, and he's got good skills, and he moves well, but he's very muscular, and he just fatigues. He gasses out. Like, one of his fights I did watch when he fought, it was his last fight actually against Manuel Del Val. He was looking good, and then he just like gassed majorly. And I don't think Del Val is decent, but he didn't even like do that much to get the finish. It was more like Stephen Costello just couldn't carry on, and got finished up against the cage. It weren't like Manuel Del Val hit him with anything like massively explosive or big. It kind of just looked like Stephen Costello gassed out and gave up a little bit and couldn't carry on. And yeah, 5-4. I watched a couple of his other fights, and it seems the same. It's not just like a one-off. I think he just gets gassed, and yeah, and he ends up getting beat. Andrea Cabali, I watched his last fight against Nicolo Soli, and he looked alright, to be fair. Soli was trying to initiate the grappling at first, and then Cabali just turned it round and ended up riding out the decision. He looked alright. He didn't look anything spectacular himself, but he didn't give up and he carried on grinding. So I imagine Kabali should get the win here against Costello. But I wouldn't write Costello off. He is decent. I just think he's probably not got the body type and the endurance to last. Yeah, and stay on top for the whole fight. So I think Kabali might grit it out and get the win though. Next fight, just talking about Manuel Del Val. He's up against Michael Dubois. Bit of an iffy record. Dubois 16-12. Yeah, lost his last fight against Giacomo Michaelis, who's a good fighter. Lost by decision though. And Del Val, he is decent. He had a tough fight in his last fight though as well against this Italo Gomez. I expected him to just blow him out of the water, but there were some points in that fight where Gomez looked like he was going to get the win. And fair play to Del Val, he managed to come back and get the winner. I can't remember what happened actually. Maybe, I don't know if Manuel nearly finished him and then gassed himself out a little bit. I can't remember. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. But I know Italo Gomez did have his moments because I think I put Del Val on as a massive favourite, and my ass was twitching a little bit. But yeah, he managed to get the win though, and I think he should probably beat Michael Dubois. His records mixed, and yeah, he's fighting. He's losing against guys with 8-13 records. I think Del Val's better than that, so I do imagine he gets the winner, and he's probably a massive favourite. Next fight, Cameron Stewart versus Callum Haugen. Cameron Stewart is 1-2, but I think he is pretty decent. You know, he held the Cage Warriors Academy belt in the southeast, and he's had a couple of tough losses. He fought Yusuf Nazarkotov, who's been around a long time, and I watched that fight back, and he was just struggling to get Yusuf down. Yusuf is a great grappler, as you just seen. He won last weekend, got the finish early there, and I heard he potentially maybe had an injury as well going into that fight, but he did. He did good, Yusuf, on the weekend, and he's a good opponent. So there's no shame in that loss. He's been around a long time. Yusuf was kind of like getting the better of Cameron on the boxing, and Cameron was just trying to get him down. But Yusuf had some good takedown defense in that fight. And then against Daniel Crooks-May, who was a good fighter, even though he's 0-1 there now. I think he's had some wins since. That was a competitive fight, that one was. Yeah, so I think he's alright, Cameron Stewart. I don't think he's as bad as his record suggests. Callum Haugen's 1-1. He's coming off that KO loss to Christian Soda, but Christian Soda's really good. And a couple of wins before that, I watched this Marco Sarasajavi fight back, and he did really well though. Ended up getting the guillotine. But for me, he's a bit too loose with his stand up. He's good, and that relaxed style pays dividends for him sometimes, and he looks good, and he lands some good shots like left hooks to the body and stuff like that. But also, like, it can leave him open to getting caught. He's probably a little bit too relaxed. My worries here for Cameron Stewart is if he is going to try to get the wrestling going. Callum again did look like he had a good guillotine in that fight against Sarasa Jarvi, and yeah, he could get caught in it here. But I feel like if he doesn't get caught in the guillotine, then he might be able to ride out a decision. So yeah, I'm a bit torn on this one. My heart's saying Stewart will get the win, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets caught in a guillotine either. But I think if he can defend the guillotine, then he might ride out the decision here. Even though I think Callum's a better striker, I think Cameron Stewart is probably just going to try to get the grappling going, to be fair, and try to wrestle him. And he did get a win over Guillotine in his last fight as well. So maybe he's aware and he knows how to defend it well, but we'll see. I'm not sure if I'll put it on because it will be a close fight. Next one, another close fight in my opinion. Kadeem Perkins versus, I would say Ewan, but I think it's Ian McKenzie. Kadeem Perkins, great knockout in his last fight against Kieran Brady. Before that, he's looked alright, but that was definitely his best performance he's had in his last fight. Brady looked tall and skinny for the division, bit of a grappler, just trying to get it down, and yeah, Perkins caught him with that knee up the middle and put him out cold. Yayan, he looks the more polished fighter. He's got alright stand up, but I think his grappling is where he's best. But I can see him struggling against Kadeem Perkins here, like he did when he fought Solomon Simon. That's a fight I watched back of his, and he couldn't get Simon down. And Simon was tagging him on the feet. He is a great striker, Solomon Simon, but I don't know. That watching that fight back didn't fill me with a lot of confidence because I was thinking Yayan in this fight, but then I watched that back and I thought maybe Kadeem Perkins can defend the takedowns too, and Yayan was getting hurt on the feet. Even though I would say Solomon Simon's a better striker than Kadeem Perkins, we've seen the power in Kadeem Perkins' last fight, and if Yayan's constantly shooting, sometimes he gets held with that double frame, and I could see Kadeem Perkins landing the knees up the middle as well. He's definitely probably going to be looking to throw it after finishing the last fight in the way he did. So another fight where I think it could go either way. Initially, I thought Yayan's going to get it. I think he's the more polished fighter, yeah. And Kadeem's more raw, probably got the strength advantage. Yeah, and I think it could go either way, this one. I wouldn't be surprised. So I might just leave this one off and watch it. I think it'll be a great fight, though. Be entertaining. One of the better fights on the card, to be honest. Next fight, Tarek Pell versus Loan Duarte. I think this is a late notice replacement, and I think Tarek Pell should blow him out of the water. So we're not going to spend too long on that one. Next fight, Mateus Figlak versus Luciano Palano. 20-5 Palano. He's coming off a good win in his last fight against a 16-0 guy on Brave. So a good promotion, good record, and I think he's beat some decent people as well, that Nicola. So yeah, definitely capable of causing an upset, Luciano. But I watched that fight back, what he had against that Nikola Joksovich. Well, I can't pronounce it. And he didn't look anything special, to be fair. Just ended up getting the takedowns. It was a bit of a sloppy fight, and he didn't look great on the feet, that Nikola. And I think Mateus Figlak's levels above on the feet. I think he puts his combinations together well with the hands. He's not overthrowing, he's sharp, and I think he should finish Luciano unless he gets taken down, because I'm not seeing much of Mateus Figlak on his back. He has got a couple losses, one against Jim Waller, and I think the other one was against Ian Gary. So no shame in them losses, but then also he's not really beat anyone great either. But he's looked good. He looked good in his last fight against Tom Crosby. And yeah, I think he should finish Luciano Palano here, because when Palano was on the feet, he was kind of just doing that high guard, what most of these Brazilians do when they come in. But he has got a decent record and he's beat some good guys as well. So I won't put it past him causing the upset, but I think Figlak should get the win. Next fight, Olisawa versus Pietro Machete. Machete, he looked alright in his last fight against Sam Kelly, and he's had another couple of wins on Cage Warriors before that. Going up against Olisawa, though, and I just think Olisawa's the better fighter here. He's coming off a loss against Myron, that bantamweight title fight, but that was a hell of a fight. That was good. That was back and forth. That was probably one of the best fights I've seen on Cage Warriors, to be honest. It was a great fight, and I'm a big fan of Olisawa, and I think he should get the win here against Machete. Machete's entertaining, also it should be another banger of a fight. Next fight, co-main event, you've got Jordan Vucenic versus Nonato Jr. Another late replacement, and yeah, Vucenic is just gonna bang him out, innit? Probably at first round, so not too much on that one. And then the main event, Nick Bagley versus Aiden Lee. Very intriguing fight, this. We've been backing Aiden Lee in his last 3 or 4 fights on Cage Warriors. Yeah, I think the last 4. Might have even done the last 5 against that Conrad. I can't remember that one, but definitely the last 4. And he's 3-1 out of them. And even that Alexander Loof split decision, I thought Aiden Lee could have won that fight. I bet on Aiden Lee, so I'm probably a bit biased, but I definitely thought Aiden Lee could have won that fight, in my opinion. So yeah, you could be looking at a 16-9, and he's been and fought everyone. He's fought the likes of like Saul Rogers, Aaron Pico, and Enrique Corrales, or whatever he's called. He's fought some tough opposition, Aiden Lee, and he's been up and down in the weights as well. Andreas Binder, who looked great last weekend, lost to him. I rate Aiden Lee. I think he's really good. Nick Bagley, he impressed me in his last fight against Solomon Simon. I think I picked Simon in that fight, and Nick Bagley just wrestle fucked him basically for five rounds. Solomon Simon didn't look good in that fight. To be fair, thought he's a bit too relaxed sometimes. Solomon Simon, even last weekend when he fought someone he should have blown out of the water. Really, he's just a bit too relaxed. I think he needs to have a little bit more urgency in his fights and go a little bit more, let it go, because he's got good stand up and he's got good power. But I think he's just a little bit too relaxed, trying to make it look too pretty. I don't know. He needs to go a little bit more, in my opinion. But yeah, Nick Bagley's looked good in his last fight before that one. Courtney Lopez, I think he wrestled him as well. Took him to a decision and a few rear naked chokes against some decent level guys. He's looked good, definitely on the sauce, and in Nick Bagley though, definitely on the gear. And he managed to keep that pace up for the 5 rounds last fight, so I'm hoping, well, because I think I'm going to go Aiden Lee on this fight, I'm hoping Nick Bagley doesn't just manage to wrestle him for 5 rounds. I think even if he has some success with that early, Aiden Lee, he's tricky, he's got good jiu-jitsu, he should be able to find a way back to the feet, maybe land some shots in the clinch. I think Aiden Lee's massively the better striker. He's loose, he's got power. He does like jumping knees and throwing shots up the middle as well, so I could see him catching Nick Bagley there. It's a tricky one again. It's definitely a risky play going Aiden Lee. He's a big underdog. I think he's like a 2-1 underdog. But I can see him getting a win here, and I've been backing him, and I'm going to keep backing him. And I've got to take some risks on this card because I think there's a lot of big favourites, so I'm going to have to take some risks somewhere. So let's have a little look at the bets, the odds. So first fight, looking what I was saying about Taylor Rose, 3-1 underdog. I'm not going to put it on my accumulator because it is a big risk, first fight of the card, but I might put a little side bet on it, might throw a tenner on that on its own. The next fight after that, Damien McKenna versus Bain Dundervan. I do think McKenna wins 1-4. And we're going to put it on at that odds. I'm not sure. I'm not that confident. Giovanni Fernandez versus Paddy Rutledge. I think Rutledge gets the win, but it's like almost a 1-6 favourite, so probably no point. Next fight, Andrea Cabale versus Stephen Costello. So this is the first one where the odds are kind of close. And I do think Cabale gets the win here, so we'll put that one on. Manuel Del Valle versus Michael Dubois. 1-4. Del Valle, I think he does win, but we'll leave it off for now. Let's see what odds we get without it. Next fight, Cameron Stewart versus Haugen. Like I say, I think if Stewart can avoid the guillotine, I think he could get the win against Haugen. But Haugen is pretty decent. He's just a bit too relaxed, and I could see Cameron Stewart outworking him and getting a decision. Or even catching him on the feet, because he does leave himself open. But we'll leave it off because it's a close fight, that one. Same with the next one, Kadeem Perkins versus Yaya McKenzie. Perkins is a slight underdog, and I can see him winning that fight. But my heart initially, I thought Yayan was going to win, so we'll leave it off. Next fight, Tarek Pearl should get the win, but probably not worth it at 1-8. Mateus Figlak. See, if I had some better fights to bet on, I'd probably leave this one off. But I do think he's going to finish Luciano. I didn't think he was that good, that Luciano, from what I've seen. But then Figlak's not beat anyone great. But he's only lost to good guys too. So we'll put it on because it's like 1-3. Next fight, Olisawa versus Machete. Massive favourite, Olisawa. Like almost a 1-7 favourite. So we'll probably leave that one off. And then that leaves us with the main event, where we're going to go Aiden Lee, almost a 2-1 underdog. So with a treble there, Aiden Lee, Figlak, and the Cabale, that'll get you 62 quid back. So you could just put that on. But to be fair, I might just put some of these 1-4 filler bets on, and just take a risk on it, because it's a bit boring in it, just going for 60. I might just go for something a little bit more. But you see that it doesn't add much onto it. So if I put that McKenna on, it only puts an extra like 15 quid winnings on it. So it's up to you. You can put the treble on, or you can put a little bit more on. I'm not sure what I'll do yet. Maybe I'll go for this. Put some of these big favourites on. And a tenner on that will get me 115 back. So that's McKenna, Routledge, Kabali, Del Val, Mateus Figlak, and Aidan Lee. And let's see what Tarot Pell brings it up to. And then Tarot Pell. That gets us 130 back. So I'll probably put that on. If you want to play it a bit safer, you can put the treble on what I put on earlier. But even that's not safe because the main event is a risky one to pick, to be fair. I think Nick Bagley is definitely capable of winning. But let us know what you're putting on anyway, because a few of you in the comments last week, you had a winner. So yeah, comment, let me know what you're putting on, and I might put that on the side bet. Good luck, and I'll see you next week.